What's up, sucker?
How you doing?
Good.
Welcome back to Mike on the Platter. We got a special guest. We
Another
special
one?
Guests.
Whoa,
yes.
special.
Are we paying these people?
Special. Yeah, millions of dollars, man.
Yeah.
You taking that $1 million and running to the bank there?
You betcha.
Okay, we've got Guy Huseman.
I'm here for a good time.
For a good time? Okay.
We're here for
Not
a
for
good
a
time.
long,
not
for a
long
short time, or what's?
It's
kind of
we're
the
here
long
for a
thing?
good time, not a long time.
There you go.
There you go. Isn't that the story of life, kind of? You know, you're
It
here
is.
for a good time, not
Make
a long
the best
time.
of it.
That's right. Well, cheers.
Cheers. Far out.
Far out. Far out.
I live in Fullerton. So
Far
little local
out.
Bootleggers
Yeah, baby.
Brewery.
Yeah. Give us a
Yeah.
little voice there. There you
How
go.
about
That a
that?
boy.
You like that?
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, look, there we go.
it's far out. And there's a VW van on there, and that was my
Far out,
first
man.
car. My
Really?
first, vehicle. It's awesome.
Nice. How old are you?
18.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
My dad co-signed, and it was
Bootleggers
great.
Brewery. Where are these guys from?
Fullerton.
I feel like I've seen this can before. Maybe I've seen a sticker.
You probably they're in liquor stores and
Yeah.
supermarkets. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So why Guy? Come on, Guy.
Because of this.
Remember?
Because I brought beer.
There you go. That'll work. Hey, remember the devil from
I brought beer to be
South
here.
Park? Hey, you know what? That's a plus. The devil from South Park. Come on, Satan. Come on, Guy.
How come you always want to make love to me from behind? Is it because you want to pretend I'm somebody else?
Come on.
No, that was Saddam.
Saddam. Sorry, it was Saddam. Yeah.
Satan
Come
had an
on,
deep
Guy.
He's got
Yeah.
Satan on his
Oh,
mind.
no, Saddam.
Oh no, Saddam! I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
Come on, Guy.
That shit was funny, dude. It's like the devil had more heart than fucking Saddam. Funny as shit.
Okay, so why Guy? Guy, why? Why are you here, Guy?
Why this guy?
What
I
is the
have
meaning
no-
of life?
The meaning of life.
No, why are you here?
Oh, why am I here?
No, what's the meaning of life?
Jesus.
Holy moly.
Which one is it, Eric?
See, you're confusing me like the news.
I know, right? 36 channels and they
Oh
all
my
say the same
God.
thing.
But
Or they try to spin the same story a different
spins
way.
like throughout the day, though.
Serious, man.
Yeah. So, the meaning of life, we're really trying to figure that out right now, I think.
Yeah.
All of us.
You know, Adam was in
Trying
here.
to stay healthy and...
Yeah.
you know.
Try to get through all this. Adam was in
Mhm.
here and he's like, dude, this is the time of an awakening of sorts. Nothing is real. We don't even know what reality is anymore. This person on the left side says some shit about the right side, and the right side says some shit about the left side, and you read the same story with different endings and different. It's like, what's real? I don't even watch anything anymore because I'm so fucking tired of it.
Right, and they tell you something long enough and hard enough. You believe it.
Long enough and hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, if they keep hitting you over the head with it,
Right.
Or they keep penetrating you with it?
that's right.
Yeah.
Constant, repetitive penetration.
Yeah. Mind control. Mind control.
Mind control. Okay, tell us about mind control.
I think you really gotta, like, you
Hey,
know.
can you adjust his camera a little bit? You're not getting his whole... there he is.
Please,
Oh,
don't.
there we go. Now we got Guy. Ooh, did you see his
there we
hand?
go.
That was
How about
hot,
that?
dude. That was hot. Your hand was
There we go.
hot.
All right.
Okay, sorry, Guy. Where were you?
Do you have makeup?
Or where are you? Oh, do
So
you
anyways,
need to do little wipies so you don't
shinies.
get the shinies like I have here. Just go like this. And then it goes away.
One thing
Yeah,
is...
get the little wipers going.
right?
Do
Oh,
it,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You can go like that real quick.
Yeah.
Just with your hand.
I have
All right.
Latin skin, so hopefully that's
You mean you're a
gonna...
human being? Okay, so you're not a reptile. Okay, you're not reptilian.
No, I'm not.
Glad we got that straightened
No.
out. Although I've
No.
seen your eyelids blink sideways a couple times when I was like kind of watching you talk. So I don't
Right,
know.
but
Are you sure you're telling
where
me the
were
truth here?
mind control? We were...
Yeah. Okay.
I think
control, sorry.
that's an important, aspect of like what we're dealing with right now.
okay.
Manipulation.
Yeah, a
of
lot of
things.
manipulation.
Mhm.
Agreed.
So, and you got to look at all this stuff. I was thinking on the way here, I mean, these are ideas of mine that I pop around, and I'm not really kind of like selling anything. It's interesting, but you have to kind of like, it's all, you know, I'm just using a little common sense, and things that, you know, I see are like repetition.
Okay.
And, oh, darn it, I'm lost for words.
Well,
repetition and,
Take your time.
Bummer. Let's see.
well, we're talking about mind control, and there's repetition. And where's the repetition? In the news, in the media, where?
Repetition is in the media, the mainstream media.
Okay.
Right? We've all seen those YouTube videos where they're all broken up, like, you know, how they're doing right now with all the social media. And you heard the anchors say the same thing.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, my buddy George Corbel sent that to me. It's a clip where you've got like 20 or 30 different newscasts, and they all say the same thing.
Right.
This
I
is really
remember now.
bad for democracy.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
I think everyone.
What's bad
has
for
seen that.
democracy? The fact that the 1% of the nation owns 97% of the wealth now? No thanks to Trump either.
So,
That's bad for democracy.
what's at stake, really?
I think it's like the old days of kings and queens. We basically have a monarchy.
We're going back to feudalism.
Totally, we're going back to feudalism. The
Explain what
monarchs-
that is.
Okay, so in a feudal system, you have monarchs, and monarchs are royal families. And in this case, now there's
The elite.
it's the elite, and they're all royal families in a way because they own all the wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore they have absolute influence over state. They have absolute influence over resources.
They control everything.
They control everything.
That sounds dangerous.
But that's what's been happening. It's always been there, and now it's even worse because now they've got a global cornerstone on everything.
So then anybody can just take over, run a state. If they're part of this
If
elite.
you're part of the elite, yes.
I mean, what if this elite dude is fucking psycho?
How do you get in there?
A lot of
Is
them
that-
are psycho. What are you talking about?
I mean, what if one is worse than the other?
Hmm.
And it's like, fuck, man, I hate living in Washington because this fucking dude is...
It's a cesspool. And I think anyone that lives and works in Washington, I mean, you got to be in the club.
Well, or you're trying to get into the club. Because not all of them make it that high.
Sure.
But the stuff you have to do, the favors you have to make, the backs you have to stab, and the people that you have to betray to climb up the political ladder?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You're on your way to the club, motherfucker.
But I mean, if you really want to get like, you know, occultish.
Oh, please.
I mean, you're talking
explain.
about the elite there, and you'll notice like, you see like Ellen and there's someone on there that says, oh, so-and-so's my cousin. Everyone's related. Once you get into that level, it's just like at primary. I mean, you know,
incestuous,
you got
if
a
you
buddy
will.
that needs a job and there's a job opening. You guys are going to,
Well, yeah.
you know,
It's only natural you're going to
look at
promote
downstairs
within,
how
right?
we have a
It's
lot
not-
of people that know each other downstairs.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Exactly.
Yes, often.
Then,
So when you
how do
get
I
up
get
in-
into
More
Skull
times
and
than not.
Bones?
Huh?
How do I get into the Skull and Bones? You ever heard of that?
It's too late.
It's too late?
Yeah,
too late.
that's-
You
You
got
have
to
to be
be
born into that shit now.
You
or
got to be born into that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, man.
it's like familial and generational and
I was looking forward to that.
yeah. Well, can't you lucky start somewhere else?
Get
pal?
me in.
No, not gonna happen. Sorry, George.
W.
Put it away. Put it away.
Okay, put it
that
away.
dream away. Just let it go away in the back of your mind. Let it fly away.
Yep,
Yeah.
I will.
Don't shit on it.
So
for too
back to
long.
the story.
Okay.
So back to the story of the bloodlines, the elite.
Bloodlines.
There's bloodlines.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a psychopaths that kind of like do the deed, that give the orders, and then the idiots down below.
Mm-hmm.
All these people aren't part of those bloodlines. I'm just talking from like the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So when you go down there, there's a lot that you learn about the bloodlines, the 13 bloodlines, and whoever those people are, I don't know who they are, but they seem to possibly be the controllers, the bankers, the central bankers,
Mm-hmm.
the people that own and control everything.
The people I owe money to.
Right.
Yeah, the people
people
that make
you
your
owe-
life miserable.
You owe, it's invisible money.
It's
it's
all-
money
it's-
that's been lent over. I mean, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It
Just
has
printing
zero
air.
value. It's all speculative value.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Isn't
nothing
that
to back it up.
crazy?
It
Isn't
is
that
crazy.
fucking crazy. It's like
we currently how many trillions are we in debt right now in our nation?
I don't know.
I can't even. I can't even say that.
I think they're
number.
saying like it's something like 3 to 5 more trillion are going to be added to our debt after this is all said and done. This whole COVID thing, and guess who's going to pay for that?
We are.
China.
Not the 1% that don't pay taxes anymore. And you know that every single president, from one to the next, over the past 3 or 4 presidents, has slowly chipped away at how much the top 1% pays, in the hopes that they will invest back into our great country. But they're not doing that. All that money's gone offshore. They've flipped it and reinvested it. They've bought out their own companies at low values and reinflated it and bought it back again. And they're just constantly making hand over fist money. And they don't pay any taxes. And we have to pay all the taxes.
I think I'm just going to kill myself.
You should.
What about all the money, like the conspiracies? The Ukraine, all that money that gets laundered back to whoever.
Well, I think
and all the other countries.
I think you brought
that's
up a
our
good
money.
point. It's a rabbit hole, dude, and this rabbit hole leads to that one and goes down that one and goes down this one and goes down that one, and it's hard to make sense of what's really going on. But I think you nailed it on the head. It boils back down to the old generational elite, which are basically the leftovers from the original monarchs and the original rulers of the earth, the kings and queens and all of that.
The people that have the secrets.
That's right.
The secrets, I believe, like that we're actually more powerful and more spiritual than we think we are.
I know we are.
And we've been, subdued and mind controlled because that's our nature. And we're creative community or communal beings.
Yes, we are.
We're not individuals. And
we're individuals, but we're not. How depressing is it to think that all your accomplishments and all the beautiful things that you create and make and all the things that you do that are so amazing, it's like, what is it if you don't have somebody to share it with?
Well,
it's so communal.
Or to contribute to the community. That's where I'm at. I'm older right now than you guys, and that's where I'm at. More of a kind of spiritual, kind of, not like a liberal giving back, but a spiritual giving back. Kind of
absolutely.
Like just, kind of connecting with everyone, just being a human, and who cares about color? I believe as people, we don't. If you look at all this, the protesting in the streets, it's all white people. Most of them are white people supporting the black people. A lot of times out in front of the black people, not standing behind them, out in front of them. So, for the most part, I think, there is racism out there, but not on the scale that it's being presented.
I don't think so either. All you have to do is just drive around and spend time in most metropolitan areas, and it's a melting pot, and most people just get along. There's not this huge drawn out race thing. That's like certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world where there's very uptight people that have a very narrow, limited view of the world. But I think most people on the planet, I like to think the planet, but it's certainly in the United States. Yeah, we may have our little differences, but how big are they really? They're not that big. And most
Should I be looking into that camera?
If you
look
like
in
to,
whatever camera you want to look at.
I'm not looking. I keep looking at him talking.
No. Yeah, just look at him and
you can blow kisses in the camera if you like.
That's cool.
Kisses are good.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, man. Hey, those were good words, guy. Thank you so much.
Well, hey, I'm scrambling right now. I've never done this before.
Well,
and I've got some far out ideas.
Nice.
And so
well, let's get on this little bus.
Let's get
on the bus.
Take a trip.
I always have this little thing where I try and because I'm always worried about coming off as a crackpot.
Well, you are a crackpot, so it's okay.
I know that.
Hey,
And
but
so am I.
all
And
are.
so
I don't
is
want to.
he.
Well,
And you.
it all
Guess
depends
what?
on.
You're one too. That's right.
It all depends on like if you're crazy though. I don't want to be crazy.
Well, you're not crazy, guy.
So
Okay, I'm going to say that you're open-minded.
I'm
and I'm going to say
open-minded.
that you have done a lot of research like I have. Now, granted, information and where you get your information from is always, well, who's validating the source? Is this a person with a PhD behind their name? Is this just something that lots of people that have done research have all thrown it together? Where are you getting information from? Okay, that's always number one.
right.
To try and validate whether you're a crackpot or not. But
Right.
the truth of the matter is, there is a lot of information out there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the information, if you take your time to read all of it, it's
I was
it's
thinking
like
right
one
now-
of those dotted things where you draw the line to make the big connection, and all of a sudden there's a shape there.
That's such
That's
a relevant
what
question right now
happens.
because everyone's talking about the science. And I think that, you have to look at science, but you can't limit yourself to just the science because
Well,
there's
obviously.
outside things that you need to look at, like medicine. I mean, I take a lot of herbal stuff, and so along those lines.
We
need
take
to-
herbs too.
Okay, so there you have it.
Take some edibles, maybe some mushrooms
There you
now
have
and
it.
then. Dude,
Yeah.
I'll tell you. No, you mean like herbs like chamomile and
My black seed
Grec and
oil.
fennel,
I take.
horny goat
Everyone
weed.
knows I'm on black seed oil. I
you take
love-
what?
Horny goat weed?
Horny goat weed? Does it make you horny, baby?
Well, it's supposed to help. But
Yeah.
that's what they call it. There's another name for it too, but it
So-
helps with a lot
So
of
then
stuff.
you get those 8 inches that you've always wanted.
See, and
More
what,
like
you're in
3.
your 30s, right?
Almost.
And they
30.
got commercials on TV. Guys are having ED in their 30s.
Yeah, I know why.
Hey,
I do too.
Because it's fucked up world we live
Yep,
in right
all
now.
the toxins and.
The overstimulation of bullshit.
I'm not even 30, and I'm going through that right now.
Are you not even 30?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm 29. I'll be 30 next month.
I'll
Wow.
show you some man love.
Wow.
We'll
We're
make it
talking
happen.
about
baby.
ED here.
Erectile dysfunction, right? Yeah.
Thank you. I've never had that problem. So I'm pretty OCD about things. So
Nice. No, but you know
I
what?
feel like it's just the pressure of the world.
It's the pressure of
hey,
the
there's a
world.
lot of pressure
It's what
out
it
there.
is. There's a lot of pressure out there, and we're bummed. You said it the other day, George. There's so much information out there. It's overwhelming.
Well,
How
that's-
much information?
That's the thing. It's like, when you think back to when they didn't have phones and the computers and internet and all this shit, all they had is a fucking radio, and some guy behind it telling you what's going on. Now it's like you get this bombardment of like news, and who knows if it's fake or if it's real, and who's saying what, and this person's saying the same thing, and then you get into conspiracies and you go down this fucking rabbit hole, and then you're forced to remember all this information, and you can't help but soak it in as much as you can, and that does something to
Well,
you.
today you really have to go out and try and get your own information.
Yeah,
And it's the Wild West.
yeah.
It totally
because
is the
you
Wild
can't
West right
just
now.
look at mainstream. Because there's a narrative out there.
You brought up something, and I asked my dad this question recently. I'm like, Dad, what news do you read where you feel like you're actually getting legitimate reporting that's not biased?
The paper.
The paper. Well, you know what? You've got all the news channels online. You've got Time. You've got Wall Street Journal. You got New York Times. You got LA Times. At least I'm talking the United States of America, but there's also some stuff out there that's like out of Great Britain. He mentioned something called The Guardian, where it's mostly supported by readers, and we're all trying to get to the truth of what is really going on out there. And it's like, now, I even looked up The Guardian online. I'm like, okay, there's an advertisement for Verizon, and there's an advertisement for some other companies. And I'm like, well, wait a second, those are big companies that are advertising.
That are
So-
influencing them.
Well,
Thank you.
nowadays, can't you just go to Twitter? Because all those journalists are posting comments. They have their own Twitter.
Yep.
And they're posting news and comments all day long. So you kind of get more of a personal,
Well, that's good
look
to know.
at
That's
these
good to
people
hear
nowadays.
that. I'll tell you, there's so much stuff that I've looked at, and this is going back to what you really started to talk about, which was the information that you're getting about what's really going on in the world and all that. And there is a lot of stuff that's been uncovered. And I've been watching YouTube, and looking at some of the videos on there, and people do specials and documentaries on all this stuff. And I'm not talking like Ancient Aliens, like you can see on Netflix, or some of these other conspiracy things that you can even see on Netflix that are like, whoa, this is mind blowing, but like going really, really deep into it. Like, oh my God, this is like straight out of a horror movie.
I kind of think like aliens. I'm not sure if there's aliens. I kind of think they're more of interdimensional beings, and they're traveling maybe in a vehicle, but through like portholes and wormholes and stuff.
Portals
they're
and
not
wormholes.
like cruising for 100 years, or
Yeah,
zipping
no,
through
that's
space.
well,
yeah.
that's the whole thing. I mean, it just redefines the whole way that we think of travel,
And time.
and time, and one of our earlier podcasts before we were on video, one of the things that I mentioned was, try to imagine being in the Roman days, and you're saying, God, the Romans. I mean, one of the greatest empires. I mean, I'm not dissing what happened in China and any other the Americas or anywhere else or Egypt, but just taking the Romans, which is a fairly contemporary. When you look back, maybe a couple millennia, how long they've been around at the peak of their civilization, and they're sitting there going, "Wow, look at our inventions and our medicine and what we." This is the
we look to them
pinnacle.
for that. Mhm.
How could they have possibly imagined that within 2,000 years what we have now? Right?
Right.
Okay? Now you take that 2,000 years, make it 100,000 years. How far are we going to be in 100,000 years? Or 500,000 years? Okay? So our concept of understanding propulsion of vehicles, how vehicles move, whether we're moving through space or through time or whatever. Oh my God.
I got a different way of looking at it.
I said
I
that
got a different. Go
in
ahead.
the last episode. I said it's just a different reality, and that's
What
the
it
way
is.
I see it. It's like, the way the Greeks thought about their gods and how they looked up to things, that was just a different reality that we know nothing of. They depended on these things, like people nowadays, like God, whatever. But
well,
it's
the
just-
Romans, the
it's-
Greeks,
yeah, it's just different.
the
Like,
Bible,
yeah, it's
and other
totally
religions.
different.
Mm-hmm.
It
They all
has-
have the same stuff going on.
and it's just crazy, dude. Like eventually you
but
reach
to
a
back
peak,
up,
and then it just.
I'm sorry, I'm stepping over you.
Oh no,
No,
no
do
worries.
it.
He does it all the time.
This is about you, guy. And
But
fuck
to
that
back
guy.
up and like why I think they're interdimensional is because
Right at you, buddy. Right at you.
Don't
Sorry,
blow your
man.
COVID in my face.
Sorry, I'm sorry, guy.
fuck?
I just got you sick. Okay, go ahead.
the why I kind of have that idea is because when you look at like ancient civilizations or like the Aztecs and the Mayans, they take drugs, ayahuasca or
Mhm.
whatever they take to shaman to talk to the gods,
And
the
enhance
interdimensional.
their connectivity.
And I think they're interdimensional because I've read like experiences from like people nowadays taking ayahuasca, and they're like seeing like beings out there. Forget what they call them. But anyways, I've read stuff and I've seen guys talk, physicists, quantum physicists talk about interdimensional beings out there in the quantum computing. I'm not even qualified to go there, but they talk about that. And then you have Satanists, like that channel.
Negative spirits and
Right.
and beings.
And these are, who knows what they are? They're demons, interdimensional. I don't know
Sure.
how they manifest, but they're spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So like, John Parsons, JPL, he's supposedly, Aleister Crowley, was, supposed to make contact and, learn some stuff from an interdimensional being. It's a demon. And so did John Parsons.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So who's
So
John
that's
Parsons?
why John Parsons, JPL, he's a Satanist. And he was, he hung around a little bit with Church and Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh yeah.
And I think
that's a crazy.
L.
Cult
Ron
right there.
Hubbard ended up marrying the same woman. I think they had sex
Damn.
during, like at the same time and stuff.
Oh damn.
like a threesome.
Like an
I
orgy.
think that's what you would call it, unless something else was involved.
Oh, you mean with like a three-way with an interdimensional
With
being?
Three with
Oh
the
no, it's
succubus?
probably ritual to an interdimensional being,
Ritual,
a demon.
a demon,
damn.
or whatever.
But
So is it like
So
really
they say-
colorful, like
so
we
they
have
say,
in here,
hey,
where there's like all this?
I don't
creepy
know
stuff
anything
going
for
on?
sure. These are ideas, got to look into it for yourself. But, that's why I'm kind of on the idea about like, and in terms of like what we might see in our skies, the things that we can do with drones, amazing, amazing. So some of this stuff to like, oh my God, there's UFOs or the technology that we don't know our government has.
Mm-hmm. Actually, we kind of do.
Maybe cloaking, stuff like that.
We really don't, Eric.
Who knows?
We do and we don't. I'm sure it's changed even more. Now it's like beyond. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they've managed to jump to a different dimension.
Well, I mean...
kind of like they do in The Flash?
Possibly, yeah. You just don't know. I mean, when, 40 years ago, they were like, oh my God, they're using alien technology. 40 years later, what do you think they come up with now?
You're talking about
more
the Germans?
alien technology?
The Germans or the Chinese or
Operation
whomever,
Paperclip?
the Japanese, whomever. They exchange notes. Whatever. The possibilities are endless.
You know what's a trip? How they say we went to the moon, but we don't have that technology anymore and we can't do it again. Remember they said that?
Yeah, they did.
That was a trip.
My mom asked me the same thing. She's like, "What can we get there now?" And I'm like, "No, you can.
We
just don't want you to believe you can."
I read a lot of stuff, and the consensus that I got on why we can't go back there is because we were told not to return.
Wow. Boot. Get the boot.
Go on YouTube and research things coming out of the moon. And I actually read a really, really, really good book by Jim Marrs called Alien Agenda. And he talks about the moon a lot in that book. Jim Marrs, Alien Agenda. Great book. But, dude, you know how many people over the centuries have seen shit on the moon?
Well, there
lights and gases and things flying around.
Go on fucking Instagram. And you'll see amateur fucking...
they have Google Earth?
We friended some of those guys.
Yeah.
We're following some of those guys.
You can watch these fucking
Guys,
amateurs.
you know how they have Google Earth?
Mm-hmm.
They have Google Moon and Google Mars.
Really?
Yes.
No. Oh, dude.
And people spend hours scouring the surface and they show you anomalies.
Let's see what they've missed. Because they usually
No,
blur
and
out
there
something.
are like the right angle stuff.
No, yeah, because
I've seen some of that.
Even when it comes to like pictures that they take in space or wherever, they send it to somebody to doctor in case they find something that's not supposed to be there. But every now and then they miss something. And then somebody finds it and then they post it.
So I'm going to jump out from the big picture here. We are a planet in the Goldilocks zone, spinning around a star that is an M-class star. It's going to be around for a while. We've got a lot of resources. We have a biosphere that has insane biodiversity. Hundreds of millions of billions of different species of God knows what. Tell me that we're not a resource. And tell me that the moon is not a highway for all kinds of beings and things visiting and keeping this little petri dish going.
You know what I think? Like Hollywood. Hollywood it's not inventing anything new. The technology changes, but the scripts are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Okay. You watch TV and late night, it's like NCR, or these crime shows, the hospital shows, or, it's not that I don't know. We do know what's going to be on. My point is everything is repeating itself.
Recycled.
Everything and the only thing that has changed is technology. So what's happening now has been happening for thousands of years.
Yeah, everything's recycling itself.
The people that we were talking about earlier, the elite, they are worshiping those ancient people, the Egyptians. Why are they doing that? Why is everything about Egypt, ISIS?
I don't know. Tell us why, guy.
I don't.
Who
I
built
don't
those
know.
pyramids? That in itself is a huge question.
I saw something pretty mind-blowing, and it was on YouTube, but it was about measurements and, art, just building and all kinds of interesting things about like pyramids and how like ancient geometry. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know like ancient, that's kind of mind blowing.
Like how the pyramids, the 3 pyramids I think it's Giza.
Right.
How they were aligned with how the Orion Nebula, the Orion's belt,
Right,
stars
and there's something
would have appeared 15,000 years ago.
Yeah, and there's another group of pyramids in an Asian country. I'm not sure, Taiwan or Thailand or something. Maybe I'm not sure. But my point is this guy was pointing out a connection with everything up into current times. It's like in you know how they always say like Washington D.C. is, you know, the occult and Freemasons and there's all kinds of, well, I mean, the obelisk that's there. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's phallic, right?
Mm-hmm. Very.
It's a penis, and the circles that you see and the overlapping circles, that center is feminine, and so it's Egyptian, and it's in Washington D.C. for whatever reason. It's also at the Vatican, right?
Mm-hmm.
St. Peter's,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's actually a real one, a real Egyptian obelisk.
Penis?
Obelisk or whatever the pronunciation
Obelisk,
is.
okay.
This, the one in DC is made. It's, you know, they built it. There's interesting, you know, numbers in that though. It's like 555 foot tall, which is 6,066 inches. So 666.
Oh yeah, so there's that sacred geometry,
and then 6 over 5. There's
beast.
a whole like you know, ancient geometry. I mean, and it's complicated and it's over my head, but the connections were amazing, and it all went back to everything was aligned on parallels and everything to one another, and it all lined back to Egypt, Isis.
You know, they thought that this is all making me flash back to a 311 song.
Dude, you're like...
Where the lyrics go, something is watching me since I have found the key to unlock the synergy within me. And then something about 6 proton, 6 neutron, 6 electron is the codex for this planet we live on.
Mm-hmm. Who sings that?
311.
Whoa.
Ooh.
311, that's
a deep band.
Before my time?
No. After. But you know what? Let's continue.
I mean, after my time. I'm sorry.
Yes, after your time. Let's continue.
Well, let's take a little break.
You gotta edit that out,
we're gonna deep dive into this rabbit hole
even further. So we've gone 6 feet. Now we're gonna go another 6 feet, and then another 6 feet.
I'm thinking like 60 feet and then 600 feet.
All the way to China.
Yeah.
All the way to Wuhan.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
We're just